welcome to our virtual STEAM program. My name is Megan.
And I'm Julie. Hey, thanks for letting me join in the fun today. What are we going to learn?
Today we are playing with the concept of inertia. Have you heard of it?
I think I recall it having something to do with the law of motion, right?
Yes. Sir Isaac Newton, super smart scientist,
Super smart.
way back in the 1600, 1700 time period, came up with 3 laws of motion. And the first law of motion is inertia.
Wow. Okay, well, what exactly is inertia?
The definition states that an object at rest stays at rest,
Okay.
and an object in motion stays in motion until a force acts upon it.
Interesting. So, for example, this water bottle that I've been drinking from, it's an object, and it's just sitting there, not moving.
And it'll stay there till a force acts upon it.
Ooh, like my baby Yoda force?
You're no Jedi. You'll need to use another force.
Okay. Well, let's say I whack it. I put some force on that and made it fly across the room. I just performed inertia?
Yes. And the reason it doesn't keep going is because the force of gravity pulls it down to the ground. Or, in this case, the glass window that it smashed into.
Sorry about that.
So basically, Sir Isaac Newton is saying that items tend to keep on doing what they're doing
Okay.
at motion or at rest until they're interrupted. Did you know we've all experienced inertia?
Really?
Actually, you experience inertia every time you're in the car. Should we go for a ride?
Let's do it.
Let's say you're sitting in the car at the light. Your body's at rest. When the light turns green, the car moves forward. The part of your body that is sitting and buckled in is attached to the car, moves forward also because of the force from the car acts on it. Your head that is not touching the car tries to stay at rest in its spot, but it feels like your head moves backward. It really is your body moving forward and your head takes a moment to catch up. So now your body is moving in the car. Your body will stay moving unless a force stops it. Let's say you see a stop sign up ahead. The brakes on the car is the force to stop you. The car stops, and your body that is sitting and attached to the car stops. However, your head will keep moving forward until the force from your body stops it. That's why our upper body moves and jerks forward when the car stops.
Cool. We experience inertia a lot. I may always think about inertia when I'm in the car now.
I like it.
Are there other ways that we can show inertia?
I'm glad you asked. We get to do 3 cool experiments today and show our friends how to make their very own inertia zoom tube.
Ah. So cool. Can't wait. So what's the first experiment?
Well, we have these beads here.
Okay.
And it's a very long string of beads. And this experiment involves inertia, potential energy, kinetic energy, acceleration, and gravity.
Okay. We already talked about gravity when the bottle fell to the ground. And I know acceleration is a change in velocity or a change in how fast something goes. However, what is potential energy and kinetic energy?
Well, potential energy is the energy stored in an object. This stored energy is based on the state of the object, how heavy and big it is, and where the object is. For example, if gravity has influence.
So let's say, does a person on a bike at the top of a hill have more potential energy than a person at the bottom of the hill?
Yes, the height of the hill impacts potential energy. The person at the top of the hill has potential for a lot of energy and a lot of speed down that hill. Potential energy is all about how heavy the object is and how high up it starts. The heavier the object, the more potential energy as well.
Okay, I think I get it. So what exactly is kinetic energy?
Kinetic energy is the opposite of potential energy or that stored energy. It's the energy of motion. That person on the bike at the top of the hill has potential energy or potential for so much speed down the hill depending on his or her weight. Though, If he picks up his feet and glides down the hill, the potential energy is converted or turns into kinetic energy.
All right. Oh, I think I have a good example of potential energy and kinetic energy. A roller coaster, right? So a big chain is hooked to the bottom of the cars and it pulls the cars up to the top. Click, 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 click. Ah! Which when it gets to the highest point of potential energy, it's released from the chain and it rumbles down. Ah! And that's kinetic energy, right? It can do that a couple times depending on how big the roller coaster is. Potential energy. Click, 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 click. Kinetic energy. Ah! Right?
Exactly.
Nice.
And you brought up acceleration, that speed increasing. Let's do an experiment with potential energy,
Okay.
converting to kinetic energy,
Okay.
and acceleration causing the coolest effect on this simple set of beads.
Whoa. Those beads just look like a giant necklace.
Well, they could be a necklace for a giant,
Oh, makes sense.
but the ends aren't connected.
Okay. Well, did you have to put them in that cup in a special way?
Yeah, we are going to use this cup, and I did put it in a special way.
Okay.
The beads in this, I had to layer the beads in this container, making sure that they were layered evenly and that there were no knots or twists. It's important that the beads can start with inertia,
Okay.
sitting there, and potential energy, and move to kinetic energy, gravity, and acceleration.
Sounds complicated.
You're right, it does. However, it's pretty cool to know the science behind why things do what they do.
Agreed. Okay, so what are we going to do?
When I count to 3, you're gonna give the beads, this end right there,
Okay.
a little toss up into the air.
Okay.
This will start the beads flowing and turn the potential energy into kinetic energy.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa! That went so fast, but I think I saw it accelerate and go up and over the rim.
It did! Let's watch it in slow motion. It'll be easier to see the beads accelerate. Watch as the fountain of beads flow from the container. As the speed of the flowing beads accelerates, the string rises above the rim of the container due to the inertia of the fast-moving beads. Newton stated that an object will continue moving in the same direction, initially upward, until a force acts upon it. The arcing motion of the beads is caused by the force of gravity.
That is so cool. Newton was right. Once the beads started, they remained in motion until they ran out.
So cool, right?
So cool. Hey, let's do another experiment.
This is an experiment you can do at home. Plus, it could be fun to impress your family with this science trick.
Love it.
All you need is a cup,
Okay.
an index card, and a coin. If you don't have a card, you could use anything that's thicker than regular paper.
Perfect. I brought in an old envelope from a birthday card and an old postcard.
Right. They both could work as long as they're smooth.
Right.
Okay. Start by placing the index card on top of the cup.
Okay.
Place your coin in the middle of the cup.
All right. Just like we talked about earlier, the coin will not move from that spot on its own because of inertia. An object at rest stays at rest. But do you want to see if you have the baby Yoda
Yes.
powers?
I'm ready.
That was a good effort. But let's stick with the scientific way.
Okay. I guess science is cooler than our Jedi skills.
Definitely better than our Jedi skills. All right, so you're going to use your finger to flick an edge of the long side of the card. You want to flick the card directly from the side. Be sure that you don't flick it downwards or upwards by hitting it above or below the card. When you flick it the right way, the card will slide out from under the penny and the penny will drop into the cup.
This is cool.
Shall I
Is
try?
this similar to the tablecloth with the dishes and you pull it out? You know, that really cool trick? I want to try that.
Yes, but let's not try that. We could probably get in a little more trouble if we break any more things.
Okay, I'll do it this way.
Nicely done.
So why doesn't the penny take off with the card?
Makes sense. So if you hit it correctly though, the card simply slides out from between the cup and the penny because an object, like the penny, stays at rest until a force acts on it. There's not enough friction on the card, causing it to take off with the card. So once gravity takes hold, it acts on the penny and drops it into the cup.
That's so cool.
You want to try a couple different pennies? You can use mine.
Like more than one?
More than one penny.
Should I do it? I've never done more than one penny.
Yes.
2 or 3?
Or 5.
5! Go big or go home.
Right in the center. Nicely done.
I'm a little nervous. Drum roll, please. Woo! That was awesome.
That was awesome.
What do you say we do one more cool experiment?
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, we have something from Steve Spangler's Science. This is called an inertia ring. When you combine this ring with a water bottle and a hex nut, you get a really cool inertia experiment.
Hey, do you think the kids could experiment at home with other items if they don't have the inertia ring? Maybe they could use a tape roll. You will want to avoid using the lid because it has a slight edge on it, and that'll mess it up.
Yeah, you
The
just gotta make
smoother the ring,
sure
the better.
the edges are even.
Exactly. Okay.
I think experimenting is always a good idea.
Totally.
Do you want to show us how to do this cool inertia trick?
Totally. All right. First you're going to do is balance the inertia ring on the bottle and then balance the hex nut on top of the ring. Like so. Oh. Using 2 fingers, I'm going to swipe at the ring and the hex nut is going to fall into that teeny tiny hole.
What? I cannot wait to see that. The water bottle opening is super tiny. This is definitely science magic.
Science magic. Whoa.
Whoa! Wow! Can we see that in slow motion?
Totally. All right, when you hit the ring on its inside, the plastic flexes downward just slightly, causing the ring to actually drop out from under the hex nut. And as it zips to the side, for a nanosecond, the hex nut stays in its stationary inertia until the force of gravity pulls it down and into the bottle.
Have you ever tried doing it more than one hex nut?
Shall we try 2?
Definitely.
Let's try 2. Balance. Balance.
That is amazing! It may be science, but it looks like magic. Science is awesome!
Hey, do you want to make the zoom tubes now?
Definitely. Okay, for this experiment, you're going to need 2 matching plastic soda bottles,
Perfect.
a cutting utensil. Please ask an adult to use this as well as for help.
Safety first.
Yes, duct tape or packaging tape would be the best option if you have it. If not, you can experiment with other tapes. I'll keep that over here. And 2 12 feet long strings or thin ribbons.
All right, any size soda bottle will work. We're using 16 ounce, but you could use a 12 ounce or a 20 ounce or even experiment with the mother load of 2 liter bottles.
That would be awesome!
Giant zoom tube.
We don't have a giant zoom tube, but this is what we are making today. This is the final, or goal.
All right. While we're doing this, you might want to pause the video, but don't worry, we'll be right here when you get back.
You ready?
I'm ready.
First, you are going to cut off the bottom of the 2 bottles. we cut about 1.5 to 2 inches off. You are eventually going to attach the two bottles together on these cut sides. You can use an X-Acto blade or scissors. Again, make sure to talk to an adult before you start cutting. Once you cut, you can discard the bottom of the bottles.
Oops, there goes the rest of that window.
Now, you want to attach the two tops with duct tape or packaging tape. But you can experiment with other tapes as well if you have it. Slide them together and tape around the center. You can also choose to decorate your Zoom tube with stickers and other fun items, but don't make it too heavy or it won't fly.
All right.
This is what you made.
Are we all done yet?
No.
We ready to play?
We have our two 12 feet long strings, or ours are ribbons and they're thin, and we need to feed them through the Zoom tube. It may be easiest if you let gravity do some of the work.
Let's use the one we already made. Let's use the good one.
The decorated one?
Yeah, the pretty one.
I put a lot of stars on it.
Gravity, gravity, gravity. Are we done? Are we ready to play?
Almost. You want to loop the end of each string and tie handles so that the ribbon won't slip out of your hands, or you could also take it to the next level, really going up a notch, and taking a couple rings, just 2, from a 6-pack soda container, and fold them in half, and you tie it right there on the
end. And this makes a little handle so it doesn't slip out.
Makes you a Zoom tube master. Not a Jedi master, a Zoom tube master.
All right, can you Zoom tube by yourself?
Partners make Zoom tube much more fun. You want to stand on opposite sides of the room from your partner, each holding your own end of the ribbons. Make sure that the ribbon is tight between you, but not too tight. Sounds clear, right?
Very clear.
One person spreads their arms out fast to send the Zoom tube zooming toward their partner. That partner will keep her hands together or his hands together until the tube zooms near. Then zoom it back to your partner.
It's kind of like a Zoom tube catch. Zoom tube catch. Let's go outside and play.
Wow! How did you do that? More science magic?
No, that's just camera magic. Hey, let's play.
Yeah.
Ouch. All right, watch out for your knuckles. The Zoom tube can move quickly and smack against your hands. Try to anticipate and pull the string apart to stop it before it gets to your hands.
Or you could just wear gloves. Let's play. Want to know the science behind the Zoom tube?
Of course, knowing it's always better.
As the strings pull apart, the tube reacts by zooming down the strings. That motion is kinetic energy. Because of inertia, the Zoom tube would keep going if it wasn't interrupted by another force. In our case, it's interrupted by the other person stopping it and then sending it back with kinetic energy. Any ideas on how the Zoom tube's motion, that kinetic energy, can be halted or stopped?
Well, I know when the tube bumped against our hands, that reacted and caused it to stop. Ouch, I remember.
Yes, I'm glad I had gloves. The Zoom tube can lose momentum or energy and eventually stop when the string goes slack also, or if it isn't tight.
That's why it's good to have those handles, because you can step back and keep your strings tighter.
Another way the tube's kinetic energy or that motion can be stopped is the initial snap of the strings isn't strong enough or it didn't create enough energy to make the tube fly the entire distance. I think I do this one a lot.
Well, Zoom tube is definitely a talent some of us naturally possess.
Can you think of anything else that could stop the Zoom tube?
Well, I bet maybe some friction could stop the tube.
Friction?
Yeah, friction is a force that slows things down.
Ah, yes! You're right. The tube can lose kinetic energy and speed because of friction on the ribbon, like the ribbon was bumpy and not smooth, or friction with your partner.
Friction with your partner?
No, I don't mean friction like an argument with your friend.
My friend.
I mean your partner opening her hands apart, causing the strings to widen and therefore stop the Zoom tube.
Dude, Inertia, it's pretty cool.
Yes. The experiments today were super fun.
Loved them.
Hope you all had fun and maybe even learned something.
I know I did.
Thanks for joining us and for another episode of Virtual STEAM with Scottsdale Public Library. See you guys next time.